What is up, everybody? Liam Murphy back with Davis Mattek for another Drafters stream. Let's make sure we have our right overlay on. Drafters.com, promo code ChessLiam. And if you wanted to draft with us, hopefully you were sitting in the lobby because Davis and I always check how many are filled beforehand. It was 10 out of 12. We both got the last two spots. Davis pulled the 104. I pulled the 112. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Davis, how are you doing today, man?
You know, I just watched Pete's beautiful parody video. He's outdone himself. I mean, that was a virtuoso performance of comedy. He is the funniest person I've ever met in my life.
You were the main character in that, because I mean, arguably that is the funniest piece of content.
Obviously that part was I thought the value hound stuff was good. I also my favorite bit was Pete breaking character and being like, no, I actually have zero David Montgomery through like 300 drafts, like him showing literally 0% David Montgomery. It was really funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna comment on it because he featured one of my thumbnails too. I didn't purely get the joke. I think it's that I'm like having a bunch of different guests on.
You're just bringing literally anyone on. Like it was good. Andrea Barber was a deep pull. That was beautiful.
I mean, honestly, if he has it in, I think Andrea would give us a great fantasy take. But Davis, this is our last drafter stream together until post honeymoon for you. Is the wedding this weekend?
Weddings in 48 hours, man.
Wow, man. Talk the people through that, man. We'll get to the fantasy football, but that's, we can get back to the fantasy whenever. Talk the people through the pre-wedding planning, jitters, any of that. When are people probably are coming in tomorrow?
Yeah, people are getting in tomorrow. I mean, dude, it just really is crazy to like, I assume it's kind of like anything in life, like any big life thing, like, you graduate college or you buy a house. Not even buying a house was easier than this, to be honest. It's really insane to just have so much of your life leading up to like one day. Like, it's crazy. It's like, this is the only time in my life all these people are all going to be in one place. Like, it'll literally be the only time. Like, it's very crazy. Like, I think it's going to be hard to like take a moment and just like be there, because I think it's like such a wild day. But that's what everyone's told me is like, you got to just take like 5 minutes or whatever to just kind of appreciate what it all is instead of just being wrapped up in how crazy it all is.
Yeah, because I mean, you not only have to juggle different friends, but like you and your wife also have to juggle talking to grandma and grandpa, and so it's like all this. And I think I've heard it either like goes in slow-mo, or it's like snap, holy shit, it's over, And no, you're right. Like, part of getting older is realizing that, hey, like some of your friends that you count as like a really good friend, you could see less than
10 times for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Like, and like, that's just, like a friend when you get older is like, look, man, if you live in this state and I live in this state, like, and we don't have a fantasy football draft, a golf outing, something that we get together for, like, you might just kind of grow apart.
I mean, I moved away from the city where me and all my friends moved to after college. So I don't see them that many times a year anyway. Now, I've been seeing them a lot recently because we've all had stuff. Like, we did my bachelor party and we got together like a party for my buddy's 30th birthday and stuff like that. But some of my buddies, like, I might see you twice a year or what, like, that's just kind of life. Like, it's crazy.
Twice a year is like optimistic even, because it's like holidays get taken now with different
family.
Sure.
Yeah. But, I mean, pretty much it's like we'll do one golf outing and then a fantasy football draft. Like, the fantasy football draft is like the lifeblood. Like, it's like you just got to, even if you don't like fantasy football that much anymore, you got to show up for that.
Yeah, no, I think that's like I'm the commissioner of my college fantasy football league, and like people have always been interested in it for trash talk, but post college, I think people really appreciated it because it's something that brings a bunch of guys together from college. We drink, we jump on Zoom, we talk shit, we catch up, and it keeps you connected. I'm going to my friend's bachelor party I'm gonna fly out next week, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's how I kind of stay connected to.
I got real hot takes on bachelor parties, and I probably not that many people will agree with me, but I think that the bachelor party where the whole agenda is going out multiple nights in a row is a suboptimal way to do it. I think it's
Absolutely.
so much better when it's, I mean, like we like golf and like a lot of people like golf, but it totally doesn't have to be golf. It can be just like whatever it is that your friend group likes. I think it's so much more optimal when it's set up around like a group activity.
Yeah, to me, like the Vegas bachelor party can be the nut low if you I don't know. It's just like that's not my idea of a good time and like catching up with friends. Like this is my second bachelor party I'm going on. The first one was down in Key West, which was, like, yeah, we went out, we had drinks, but we also, we could hang in the sun.
We did like that. So one of my first buddy who got married, and this was a long time ago. This was like we were all younger then, so it was like people were more like once you're like so I'm about to be 30, right? So
Me too.
yeah, so it's like and I don't drink anyway, but like my friends are just less interested in going out and like, like getting super crazy these days. But when my buddy got married when we were all 24, 25, we did New Orleans and went out every night. We did stuff during the day too, but people were just like, comatose until like noon.
I'm really looking forward to this bachelor party because we're going to Burlington, Vermont, and we got a lake house, so
yes.
It's gonna be like us playing cornhole. We'll be drinking Budweisers, but like hanging on the lake. Lake time is ideal,
Lake bachelorette parties, super ideal because you can drink, like you can do whatever, but like also it's like way lower cost to do it that way. Like I don't know if you know this, but like girls' bachelorette parties, like it's insane. Like these girls are like dropping thousands of dollars to do these trips. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, man. I mean, that just kind of happened to my girlfriend. It's like one of her friends was a bit wealthier and I think just like lives in La La Land and is not connected to like the modern day person. And it was like, yeah, we're doing mine in Turks and Caicos.
And there's a dress code and you got to bring decor and like these bachelor parties are crazy, dude. Crazy.
Yeah, like I would be very mindful of my friends and their financial. Like I would not be like, hey guys, we're going to Italy and like good like hope you can make it there. Like hope take a loan out.
Yeah.
Like
we just did for mine. We just golfed a whole weekend. We just went to like a nice golf course, and anyone who wanted to golf could golf. And we did like one like steakhouse dinner, but it was a great time.
I like golf and I want to get more into golf, but like I kind of go back and forth on it because with golf, I never want to play 18 rounds ever. Like nine is ideal to me. 18, I'm newer to golf, but the other thing to me is like, like I grew up playing tennis. Like, so there's some sports that I know for me in 10 years time, it's just like not going to be realistic. So I want to kind of commit to those sports.
Dude, tennis you can play until you're really old. You just have to switch up how you play.
Yeah, or pickleball. Like pickleball can be the whatever,
No, golf is the best because you can play until you are 80. I mean, you can play until you can't walk anymore. I played a round of golf with my great grandfather, who was 96, and he died like 3 months later. But he was still like, because
that's a special moment though. Like you got to share.
Oh yeah, it was great, but it was just because it's just the only thing that you can still do when you are. When it's literally the only sport you can do.
Yeah, that
age.
That makes sense. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get a golf trip kind of going with the guys from my bachelor party, my hometown friends. Just another thing to keep us together. Like regarding the lake weekends, something we've done for a while is like get together for the 4th of July up in New Hampshire, and it's like those are always the best resets for me. Like I was listening to Swolecast the other day, and I heard you mention like you're feeling a bit burnt out from drafts. Brother, I ripped 50 puppies on stream yesterday. I didn't mean to, I scheduled it at the same time as the Swolecast.
Wait, did you say 50?
I did 50 at the same time, just like like I was just trying to, like get a clickbaity video out there / the puppy's about to fool, so I wanted to get some down.
So did you do 5 at a time and then like enter new ones, or you just clicked enter 50 all at once?
So I opened 5 different windows, each with 10 tabs, and each had a draft. So like I could see the tab telling me how many picks away it was. And the thing is, like, my monitor is like 15 inches, so I don't have the
space.
the pieces to like support what I was doing. And midway through that, it was just like all my dopamine was like gone. I was like, you can like see me age like years in that draft.
And you can't be talking while you do that. Like there's not you don't have enough brain power.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, my anxiety got pretty high and I was like autoing left and right. And the thing is, Underdog, they added that auto draft feature, which was great, but like
but it stinks in that situation. And you probably don't have custom rankings uploaded either.
Well, so what happened was I set my preset positional limits to 3, 6, 7, 3, and the idea was I tried to draft every single team 0 RB and just let myself auto the quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends.
Sure.
But what happened was totally bad planning by me, by the way. Like, I did not test any of this. I was just like, let's rip 50 right now. And what happened was if you auto one draft, every single tab opens the you've been autoed screen. And now I have to click into the thing and close that and get the pick. So it was rough, but
so how many teams did you draft that are live out of those 50?
I think like 30, 25.
There's no way. I call so much bullshit. There's no way. 30.
There's some teams that are like good. Like there's some teams, and the other nice thing is with Underdog being sharpish, like you can just auto into some stacks, you know? Like,
because of the way the ADP is preset up. Yeah, because like I've actually been noticing this because I've been getting ready to do like the main event and stuff, where it's just like the ADPs are so noticeably different because like for example, like the way the Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen ADP is just like naturally preset or whatever is just so different because people are not consciously trying to build that every time, or Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, you know?
Yeah, like full autoed except for I think I like hand drafted Chase and Evans, but I got Tom Brady, Evans, Gage team, and Mac Jones, Devontae Parker, Damian Harris, Kendrick Bourne, and Tyquan Thornton. So like a nice like double and triple stack team. And yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of the teams were fine in the beginning, and then I don't even know. You know, like they turned it got pretty crazy. But I'm happy to have the action down because I don't think I'm gonna fill the puppy 3 at this point.
I've been doing like 5 at a time on the treadmill, and I'm up to 48 with 11 slows going right now.
What's your plan?
That's probably it. I'm probably done because I need everything else. I want to focus on BBM 3.
Are you waffling at all on the idea of doing some slows over the honeymoon, or are you still gonna throw in a couple there?
There's no way I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll do like 5 or something. You know.
Honestly, I think like 10 is really manageable. Because I'm in some slows for DK high stakes, FFBC.
God, this ADP is so bad in this range. We haven't talked about this draft. I like literally have no pick to make here.
Yeah, we'll summarize the team after. So my team is a DeAndre Swift, Saquon Barkley, Marquise Brown, Gabriel Davis, J.K. Dobbins, Kyler Murray team. And Davis has a Kupp, Kamara, Pitts, Juju, Patrick Mahomes. And yeah, like what you did is right, though. You took Kadarius Toney there, but it's like, God damn, that guy was going in the 10th round.
Yeah, are you starting to get to the point of the offseason where like the drafts like honestly feel different to you based on what your muscle memory has been like because the ADP is starting to just move so much?
Yeah, I think the teams like I'm gonna have me and Pat are gonna do a big deep dive on this tomorrow on my channel. Pat Corain, because he just released that great article, and
Oh,
Something I wanted.
I had a bone to pick with you, and I thought about this a lot yesterday, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the best ball bros are getting the wrong conclusions from the week 17, like nothing matters other than week 17 mantra.
Let's pick the bone first. So go ahead.
Okay, so this is where I've landed, which is like, so if the conceit is all that matters is week 17, I just want to win money in week 17, and the advance rates are so infinitesimal that if given the option between like Javonte Williams with a low advance rate but a good week 17 a good week 17 projection or whatever, I actually have reverted all the way around to like the Leone type of thinking, which is just, I just want to advance as many teams as possible. Because if you grant the conceit that nothing matters and we can't really control it, like we can't control the week 17 projections, right? I got a fucking fly in my office. He doesn't want to leave me alone. So like Josh Jacobs, great example of this, right? No one really wants him as like a week 17 guy. No one thinks he's a good pick, whatever. But if he just kind of stays healthy, Zamir White is fine. Kenyon Drake are fine, but neither of them are like breakouts, which I think pretty low opportunity. Like a 25-point game for him is not totally out of the realm of consideration, right? And in just a standard distribution, if he averages like 15 fantasy points per game. And I'm just using him as an example, not saying you should be drafting Josh Jacobs, but really the best ball bros are actually making the same point I am. They're just taking a different conclusion, which is we can't control shit about week 17. Like we don't know what players are going to score the points. So just having as many teams there as possible. And in terms of like, okay, Davis, great, Galaxy Brain theory, like what does that matter? I think it slightly actually tells you should be drafting a little bit less aggressively, a little bit less hyper fragile, a little bit less zero RB, and more just some of these boring teams, not really reaching super hard on the stacks. Now I stack a lot. I am a giga stacker for sure, and do really like the week 17 stuff. But I do think kind of at the end of the day, it is just about if you can advance 30% of your teams into the first round, and then 50% of those teams get through, and then you have 5 teams in the final. That is just like a nut outcome, regardless
That's
of
just
what
not
players.
happening though.
What I'm saying is, regardless of the players on those teams.
So here's what I would say: if I was trying to advance a team versus if I'm trying to build teams to win the contest, what that kind of comes down to is trying to advance a unique team, right? So I advanced under expectation last year, but the teams I did advance were very unique compared.
And I think that doesn't matter at all. I mean, I can see why in a theoretical game it out, what's the expected value of this team sense, why it matters, right? Like having Amon-Ra St. Brown or Noah Fant or whatever unique in the final. I totally get what you're saying, and I don't, I'm not going to.
I build my teams both way. Like I build my teams what I would say is the chalk sharp way to build teams. Like I can easily do those.
Real quick, the FF King here, what a dickhead. Just taking MVS and Sky Moore back to back there when he knows I have the Chiefs team set up.
Yeah, but I mean, how can we fault him? It's like two good standalone pieces,
He's got a Josh Allen team. What's he doing, bro? He's got to say.
Maybe he wanted Gabe Davis, and I snagged him on that.
Tilting.
But like I don't know. I think a lot about this, but I build my teams chalk sharp, and I also build my teams zero RB, not non-chalk too. And I think in general, advancing is pretty easy if you hit on a league winner, right? So like last year, if you had a JT, if you had a Cup, if you had Mark Andrews, Connor, like you can advance whatever. So mix in the league winners with some more extreme builds of whatever. Like, if I was just trying to advance a team, I would probably, I mean, it's a little bit different today with quarterbacks, but I would try to wait as long as possible in my QB. I would start with 2 running backs. Then I'd hit wide receiver, go try to get an elite tight end or go volume, like, I don't know. There's different things I could do to try to advance. Like 2 years ago, you could pretty much just fill out your starting lineup except for quarterback and just go volume at quarterback and advance everything. If you were taking like the DK Metcalf, Allen Robinson, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen tier of wide receivers 2 years ago, and starting with like 2 round 1 running backs. But, it's about advancing teams that are just unique compared to the playoff field, and
I don't know if that's true, because like how much uniqueness do you need? What defines uniqueness? Is it enough to have a couple unique 16th, 17th, 18th round picks with a couple spike weeks? I think specifically drafting for uniqueness in the early rounds, combinatorily, I think is fine, but cost-wise, I think is bad, right? Like if you just think a guy is like Javonte Williams, like if you just think Javonte is a bad cost, you shouldn't be taking him. I don't think that's true, but Javonte is an example that people use of a guy with who is. I mean, he compared to his median projection, he's the most overdrafted player.
Yeah, but like the example of Javonte is like, I think I can drag him to the playoffs where others are worse at doing that. If he is, like you can win with Javonte in so many ways. Melvin Gordon goes down, and then he would actually be like a top 5 pick in the NFL draft, in the fantasy draft, or he is someone that, just late season, you have a lower owned star. Like I saw Javonte play when Melvin Gordon was down last year. He is a star. I have no question about that.
I know, but we're getting too far in the weeds, from my point though.
Yeah.
Which is just that I think that whatever data you have access to that helps you advance more teams just to the first round of the playoffs is the right way to be drafting. And I'm not even saying I know the right things to do that. I'm just saying that I'm not like going crazy trying to get unique teams. Although, I mean, I still am week 17 correlating a lot in the playoff formats on DraftKings and on Underdog. Like when I draft a Cowboy, I'm drafting a Titan a lot of the time. When I'm drafting a Chief, I'm drafting a Bronco a lot of the time, but.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately everything is thin, right? Like you need to be really like top 5.
Best Ball Mania 3 is just so big that it's like broken our brains. It's like the numbers have gotten so big and so dramatic that it's just hard to make any sense of what we're actually doing.
Yeah, and we've done so high volume of drafts that so I'm looking forward to talking to Pat tomorrow about ways to approach, because if you just look at some of your earlier Best Ball Mania 3 teams from like start of season, you cannot make those teams anymore. Like I looked at a team the other day and it's like it had Jamar Jefferson, it had Kamara, it had Chubb, and then it also had Gabriel Davis, it had Godwin, and it had like Sutton on it. So it basically has like 2 extra 4th round picks on the field from now. So it's how do we adjust to the current draft? And like I think if I could go back in time, I would even do more teams early. Like sure, I'll accept that I'll have Gronk on some of those teams, but I don't know. And you speak about main event tomorrow. I'm doing a main event at 1 p.m. I just signed up for it, so that's gonna be fun. But I don't know, man. I think you, unless you've really been in the being in the Underdog playoffs last year and looking through the teams.
Oh, look at this guy going. Unless you've been there, you can't know.
I'm not trying to Dave Kitchen you, but
this is Liam. This is I can't respect this take, bro.
No. What I'm saying is, like looking through those teams and looking through like Hayden Winks each week would post out the ownership of players. Like you just wouldn't believe how ownership condenses. Like what would it have taken for Mark Andrews and Cooper Kupp team in the finals to win last year? Like it was really they were both represented at 50%. Like I guess if they just had all the best players, sure, but
what I'm saying is even trying to control for that is insane, because let's say Cooper Kupp and Mark Andrews are the guy you need to get there, and then you have a round 17 Romeo Dubes team and Dubes scores twice the week of the fight. It's like you can't control for that. So you're just trying to get as many teams there.
Things you can do that I have no question you can control for. Here's an example that I have no question you can control to get leverage on the field in the finals. Either you do double elite tight end, or you do an elite tight end with 2 other late round tight ends, with the theory being one elite tight end can drag a lower owned elite tight end to the finals, and or the elite tight end can get you there, and then you have two other shots that are not largely
But
represented.
if you're trying to calculate EV, the chances of that team advancing are like mega low.
Sure, but like that's the case for everything.
Yeah, but just because it's low doesn't mean you should be purposely trying to lower it to have a greater uniqueness factor in week 17.
I mean, like, what is good to advance? You know, like, what is that even based off? Historical,
just
game?
like a normal points distribution that you would
but
need.
I don't think people realize how different the draft landscape is today. Like, go back and look at some draft boards from last year, and you'll be like, "Holy shit!" Like, Julio was a 4th-round pick. Mike Davis was a 4th-round pick. Like, I don't think there's as many landmines.
No, there are plenty of landmines. There are guys who are going to be hurt. Like they're like
sure, but there's not as many like clear landmine. Like I clear faded a lot of people last year.
How about Deontay Johnson? Like clearly just a terrible pick. Like not going to reward drafters in the 4th round.
The talent is there though. Like that's a talented wide receiver.
But the team is terrible though, and they have no upside to being a good offense.
They could get there in a Albert O. Albert O was passed by Davis.
Albert O is interesting. He is like starting to come back up. He had gotten so cheap for like a week, and now he's starting to really come back up.
I don't really know what I'm doing with these picks. I guess
I don't really know what you're doing either here with these picks, bro.
We're filling out our running back room. We're done at RB probably, and we got 5 wide receivers, and then we're gonna go. We're gonna get 3 tight ends. Irv Smith, I know he's got a broken thumb, but like the upside case is still there with him. And we got players on what should be good teams other than the Falcons, and maybe the
so James White retired today. Are you going to?
I want to talk to you about that.
Are you going to start taking some Pierre Strong?
I don't know, man. Like, I also want to talk about the Pacheco shit because Rojo was running with the 3rd team today.
I've already missed this boat. So it's like if Pacheco is the guy you need, I've already lost. Like I wasn't getting around.
You got time. There's main events that are just starting. There's like
it's like I actually think that the most bullish thing about this 7th round rookie getting really good and sending Rojo to the 3rd team is like clearly that just means Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to play a lot. Like that's what it has to mean.
Or it's a bad sign for Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I don't think there's any way to interpret it that way.
McKinnon got work with the 1st team, Pacheco, and CEH.
He was always going to get work with the 1st team. McKinnon.
I still think Rojo's a fine pick. Like he's not going to just like retire, No,
but he can get cut and then go be the 3rd string running back in Seattle or whatever.
Well, yeah, that would be bad. But, some needier team would sign him.
No, because the market is all messed up because Kareem Hunt is available.
Yeah, but that's going to be kind of expensive. Like teams aren't too like, I think like the Jamal Adams trade a couple years ago, like people aren't trying to buy depreciating assets. Teams aren't,
I mean, you could get Kareem Hunt for a 5th round pick. Because the Browns want to say
how much you got to pay the guy,
Like $6 million.
That's a lot.
I think
that's a lot.
No, these teams can always they can convert.
Besides Will Fuller for $6 million.
Buddy, Will Fuller. We need to hear something.
All right, summarizing our last couple picks since you last heard. I went Treylon Burks, Chris Olave, Tyler Boyd, and then I threw in Patterson, Irv Smith, and Alexander Madison. Davis, since the Tony pick, went Pollard, CEH, Robert Woods, McCole Hardman, Henderson, and Trevor Lawrence to go with no one.
Well, you can backdoor him.
You can backdoor him easy.
That's what you want.
I noticed you take Trevor Lye. Is he a huge tier break for you, or?
I think it's an absolutely massive tier break. I think the difference from him to Jameis, Daniel Jones, etc. Like I think is huge. Like I think after him, you get into the guys you can't confidently say are playing 17 games. I guess Mac Jones is definitely playing 17 games, but just has like no ceiling. But also it's like every report out of Jacksonville makes it sound like Urban was the problem, right? It's all like Trevor Lawrence looks good. He's calling his own plays. He's not throwing any interceptions. The wide receivers look good. Yeah, I did. I did not mean to do that, but I am the drum beat on Dameon Pierce is all sounding really good right now, but it's not like you can still get him in round 12, round 13 in these drafts. So I'm gonna buy that because I like him better than like Michael Carter or
Yeah, it's interesting how like drafters and underdog like Michael Carter goes in like the 160s on underdog ish,
yeah.
and Dameon Pierce goes in like the round 11. Jameis just got taken, so I don't. For me, Jameis is the end of the tier. Then it's a big gap.
Well, I can't be too invested in Jameis because a huge portion of my portfolio is allocated to Taysom Hill eventually starting some games at quarterback.
Yeah, but that first off, you can't do that on drafters, so you can ignore your underdog portfolio in that sense.
No, but it's all you got to treat it as all one combined. Like I'm making specific.
I think that's right. I don't think that's
right.
I
guarantee I'm right. I guarantee that this is just like modern portfolio theory. Like you can't be betting.
You can treat everything as one portfolio, but you also can realize that there's different scoring settings and shit on different websites.
Yeah, but we're really what we're doing is we're betting on playing time at the end of the day with a lot of these, and you can't be. I think it's bad to be hedging against yourself.
It's not hedging against yourself. Like Taysom Hill is not something you're counting on. It's a long shot bet that if it pays out, wins you a lot of money. So
right, but I don't. But at the same time, I don't want to be betting on outcomes that completely preclude myself from. I don't want to be betting on things that because if Jameis has a good season, Taysom can't be the guy that wins me $2 million.
That's not true. Jameis can have a great season, and then Taysom scores 2 rushing touchdowns week 17.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like
we got so many outs with Taysom, buddy.
Exactly. Taysom could be just the straight up tight end. Like he could only see tight end in wildcat packages.
Well, that's what it is. But so like even if
and as far as like you're talking about drafters cumulative points versus underdog week 17, like Jameis can give you 5 30-point weeks and be a really helpful piece for drafters.
Yeah. No, that's true. I do just mean in general, though. I think you should be treating your portfolio on all the sites like the same.
I pretty much do, but there's some different things I do, like especially drafters. Drafters is a totally different story than the playoff.
I don't draft any injured or suspended guys, and I draft more old guys on drafters for sure.
Yeah, like Mark Ingram is not a button I would click in playoff formats, but Mark Ingram on like a site like this, I'll click sometimes.
I was drafting a little bit of Ingram before the Kamara like injunction or whatever came down on Underdog. Has anyone thrown out the galaxy brain theory to you that Kamara's suspension could come in mid-season and then all of a sudden Mark Ingram is the Saints starting running back in the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like in general, the way I play is like if a 30-year-old running back or so is the piece I need, I lose, and like good game everyone else that loaded up there chasing the falling sword, I'm trying to project the future, not catch the tail end of careers usually.
Yeah, I mean that's generally the way. That's generally the way I play too, but I feel that best ball is a different game than manage. Like I'm so much more likely to just load up on 23-year-olds and manage or whatever. Like you do just need some dusty guys to get you 11 points some weeks in best ball.
Yeah. How do you feel about your team so far?
This is a good team. This is a pretty good team. This is probably the best one that you and I have done on stream together up until this point. A 0 RB build with my 2 favorite 0 RB guys, Pollard and CH. Mahomes.
You can't call a 0 RB build when your wide receivers 4 and 5 are Robert Woods and McCole Hardman.
Robert Woods, great example of a guy.
3 running backs before those guys.
Great. Well, whatever. Modified.
This is not 0 RB at all. This is like hero RB with robust mixed in. Yeah, like
this is a good team. And I have Cooper Kupp, and then I have this year's Cooper Kupp in Juju Smith-Schuster and Kyle Pitts. So I'm just like I'm really trying to take a lot of Kyle Pitts right now.
Your top 4 skill position players definitely have the potential to be like pieces you had to have. in drafters to like be live. You know, like
I'm
last year, like you had to have Jamar Chase, you had to have Mark Andrews, you had to have JT.
I'm feeling, by the way, also just like more and more bullish on the Chiefs by the day after looking at. I don't think that people are really realizing this. I want to read out some of the guys who were playing snaps for the Kansas City Chiefs at
their
wide receiver
O-line,
last year.
their
So
O-line and their passing.
I mean, it's all improved. But these are some of the guys who are getting meaningful snaps for the Kansas City Chiefs last year. Demarcus Robinson played their second most snaps at wide receiver last year. He is, is he the most empty calorie wide receiver in the NFL? Got to be close, right? But the guy who gives you absolutely no production. McCole Hardman had to play 52% of the snaps. He will now be their fourth wide receiver. Byron Pringle, undrafted free agent, 5'10".
Yeah, they lost the top end talent in Tyreek, but they
the bottom end is like unbelievable. And even like if this Pacheco guy is actually good, replacing Daryl's snaps with him, like Daryl is the most ham and egger guy ever. And then another year for Jody Forsen is a converted wide receiver to tight end. He's got like the backup tight ends, Noah Gray. Like I would expect those guys to be better than Blake Bell, who is like a total, just like he's like Lee Smith for the Bills, right? He just does nothing. Like I think it's really set up for the Chiefs to be really, and their defense is bad, right? I mean, that's maybe the biggest component is they're not going to be able to hand the ball off to these guys.
They could be like a if everything goes wrong in their division games, they could be like a 7-win team and still be some of the top fantasy producers in football. Like the as far as like winning real games and fantasy points, it's not like the Chiefs don't need to be a playoff team if their defense is terrible and or the AFC West is just loaded. But they could also be a playoff team. But like that, it's pretty irrelevant to me as far as like assessing the pieces I want. And their O-line, like I was listening to the ETR free pod. I'm pretty sure Brandon Thorpe has them number 2 in the NFL, which for a guy like Pat Mahomes is pretty important. Like Pat Mahomes versus Josh Allen, Mahomes needs a little bit more O-line help than more. This
is such a classic spot where you and I are just like never like we're so homers and baked in our takes. Like you'll be like, yeah, Mahomes kind of needs a little bit more help, and I'd be like, Josh Allen averaged 7.1 YPA last year. Like, are we feeling like it's like you and I are just
but Josh Allen was throwing to Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders.
Patrick Mahomes is throwing to Demarcus Robinson and McCole Hardman, bro.
Okay, but they had Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Like,
and he had Stephon Diggs.
This is the first year. No, Stephon Diggs was there, but this is the first year he potentially has 2 other elite guys with him in Davis, Knox, and I'd even throw McKenzie in the mix. Like McKenzie, if he's like a featured guy and a team's playing man, McKenzie can eviscerate teams. The point is the Bills are a lot better. But so are the. Are the Chiefs better? Like, yes, they are everywhere except high end. Unless Juju is Juju of old. Like that's in the realm too.
Yeah, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes though, bro.
Yeah, but the Bills have Josh Allen. That's a bit consensus. Finally, the fantasy community got it right, and they listed him ahead. If Mahomes and Kyler are healthy, what do you think the odds are that Mahomes scores more fantasy points than Kyler? Not that you can't make
no. I think it's so obviously Kyler is going to run for 700 yards and add in some touchdowns or whatever. But honestly, to me, it's like I think it's kind of unknowable based on how aggressive do the Chiefs want to be, right? Because like there are some of these games where I remember like a Monday night game. I don't remember
when the Chiefs need to win games. Patrick Mahomes runs more when they don't need like against the Bills.
Well, I'm more saying like they do shit like I think it was a Monday night game maybe against the Ravens, and Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns, 4 in the first half, and the 4th one was to an offensive lineman. Like they do shit like that. But I do wonder if now they're entering into the period of the Reid Mahomes era, kind of like the Brady Belichick era, where it wasn't about Like they'd won all the awards, they put up all the stats they ever wanted to do, and it all just became about let's win 10 games, let's get to the playoffs, and let's win a Super Bowl. And I wonder if that's where they have arrived as an organization, that's going to have a negative impact on Mahomes' fantasy stats for sure.
Man, I just need to get some fucking bodies at tight end.
Yeah, I like our draft got dusted off at tight end. I might take 4.
I wanted Brevin Jordan. I am taking 4. I guess we're just swinging for the fences with all of our choices. I might even go 5, man. Like Daniel Bellinger goes in round 17. What is that? That's not something you see every day. I really need Logan Thomas to come back healthy because I feel like this team can piece it together at wide receiver and running back and quarterback, but tight end, I could just be bleeding points to teams that have elite. What do you got at tight end?
Kyle Pitts and Tyler Higbee.
You at least have, you could justify stopping at 2 if you want.
Tyler Higbee is the most boring guy who's going to finish tight end 8 of all time. Like this Van Jefferson injury, Odell Beckham's not back. Robert Woods isn't there. Like he's just going to get 80 targets and score 6 touchdowns and be the tight end 8.
Yeah, tight end, you can usually like fade the hype when like a guy like him became a
expensive,
pick,
right?
Or whatever. Like last year, I had 0 Higbee and everyone was falling over themselves to get him. And now this year, I'm back in when he's cheap.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of him, but like I think talent wise, he's a worse player than someone like a Noah Fant, but he plays for the Rams, not the Seahawks, so that's part of the equation.
Yeah. Are you buying any of this Jonnu hype out of Patriots training camp? Because I am.
Did you see like the one tweet that was like amount of targets that players have seen?
Yes, and it was
far?
he was.
Damian Harris was like top 4.
Yeah.
What is that? You're like Damian Harris was top 4, and then there was like, oh, but they might try to trade him. I don't know, man. Like I really like Tyquan Thornton out of New England, and I think he's threatening Jacoby Myers later in the season, but I guess you got to get a little flop lag with Jonnu,
have you been? There's also been some drumbeat on Kendrick Bourne.
I have plenty of Bourne.
I've been trying to get more of him.
Yeah, you probably reached a bit for him here, but you routinely kind of just get your guys in this range, and I think that's fine because
I just like there's no difference between a 17th and a 20th round pick. Like I don't care.
Yeah, like like I remember the winning underdog team last year, not for like the contest, but for most points, weeks 1 through 14. It was like full of ADP reaches. The guy was just getting his guys, but the guys he was getting was like Leonard Fournette, James Conner.
The league winners.
Yeah, it was like, if you were in the draft with him, you'd be like, oh, look at this idiot, look at this Dave Kitchen. And then boom.
I mean, it's like obviously I'm not reaching 10 spots on a guy in the 5th round, but in the 15th, I'm doing it all the time, probably by more.
Yeah.
And I just think you should not be sweating like any whatever difference you can make up with like correlation or drafting a guy with ceiling compared to drafting guys for like floors there. I think is just clearly the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is a rough group. I need to at least go 4 tight ends, but maybe 5. Like I'm trying to assess the strength of my wide receivers right now. Running back, I'm rolling with 5. I got 4 dudes who should be starters. Maybe.
Oh shit! I just auto picked Laviska.
Oh, you fell into a stack at least. That's your queue.
Well, he was in my queue.
Yeah. I set positional limits on underdog yesterday before I autoed, and then I did a stream with TJ Hernandez, and I put a player in my queue, but the positional limits overruled the queue is something I didn't know, so I screwed our team late. If you ever do.
I have mine set how I actually draft my teams though. So and also I don't want to be screwed by the queue like in a draft where like quarterbacks aren't going or something, like auto drafting me multiple quarterbacks. So I have my positional limit set 2, 6, 9, 2.
For the auto draft, I set it at 2, 6, 7, 3. Because I knew I was going to start 0 RB on all 50 if possible. Didn't happen, but Yeah, like if I was just doing pure auto, I don't know what I would set it at. Probably something similar, like just try to make quarterback work. God damn, what a rough crew. All right, we're taking Tyler Conklin, I guess.
Tommy Tremble, bro.
I honestly was about to click that button. He is like
Ian Thomas is already hurt.
well, and Ian Thomas is not a good pass catcher. Dan Arnold is interesting. Foster Moreau, like that's some contingent value at tight end.
What if Foster Moreau is the guy you need?
He probably is a better piece with a 4 tight end build. Man, it's rough. Fuck it. We're doing 5 tight ends. This is not co-signed by anyone, but
Liam, this is so bad.
I don't hate it. Like I get
you just gotta draft with these idiot streamers. The EV is so good.
Honestly, most of this draft, I was just enthralled in the conversation to begin. But so my team turned out with Kyler Murray and Ryan Tannehill. We got 5 good running back pieces with DeAndre Swift, Saquon Barkley, J.K. Dobbins, Cordero Patterson, and Alexander Madison. Our wide receivers, we like the top end pieces, and we got some interesting pieces late in Marquise Brown, Gabriel Davis, Treylon Burks, Chris Olave, Tyler Boyd, Corey Davis, George Pickens, and Romeo Doubs. And then our tight end group, we threw shit at the wall, and we'll see what sticks with Irv Smith, Logan Thomas, Greg Dulcich, Tyler Conklin, and Tommy Tremble. You know, like if you're going to piecemeal a position together, tight end feels like a one to do it with just through pure volume. And it just puts stress.
I agree. You do it with 3.
Well, I don't think 3's enough. When my 3, like
if you swapped out Irv Smith for another running back, then I like what you did way more. 5 tight ends is unconscionable.
Well, no, because Logan Thomas, like I'm counting on him to return 4 weeks into the season at best, you know? So
yeah, I don't think I've drafted Logan Thomas once.
This is really a 4 tight end team that's hoping to get back Logan Thomas. You know, like which I don't know if that's happening. I just know he has the upside.
I know we're betting on Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and like, you know, no one else is big on that team for red zone role. I just saw you took Trey Sermon. Are you buying that he is?
Yep. Yeah.
So
I talked about not hedging against myself, but I think it would be a stone cold disaster if you have a big Tyrion Davis Price position to not start taking some Trey Sermon, because this is not one beat writer's thing. This is not one athletic article. This is not one fan blog. This is every person on the team, at the camp, the coaches, the other running backs. They are all saying Trey Sermon is the second running back.
So here's the only thing I'll say. The most recent news, it seemed a little bit
better for us.
Well, the most recent news, it seemed like they were they were running Trey Sermon because they want him to run in the preseason game.
Well, TDP is also playing, and they're both going to play in this preseason game.
That's going to be some important tape for us to watch.
I just think if TDP sucks in that game, that is bad for us.
That's rough. Yes. There was like a college kid who just graduated and is a beat reporter for the 49ers, and he wrote something about Trey Sermon, and I asked him, I said, how has Tyrion Davis Price looked? And he said he's looked good. I like him in draw runs, you know? So it's like, oh, okay, at least there's something.
I think at this point, what we are hoping.
I agree with you, though. We need some Sermon. I need some Sermon in my bags.
But I think minimum what we are hoping for right now is that he can beat out Jeff Wilson for Jeff Wilson's role, right? Because Jeff Wilson has been a good soldier for the 49ers. Like, he is going to go to the practice squad and not complain, you know? So if he can just be ahead of Jeff Wilson, that's probably a win.
For managed, I have a team where I started 0 running back on the main event, and I started with 5 wide receivers. I got Kyler Murray, and my tight ends are Knox and Albert O. I think my running backs are like Damian Harris and Elijah Mitchell. And something I'm thinking about doing on that team is also taking Tyrion Davis Price, Trey Sermon, and Jeff Wilson. Just being like, I'm going to get...
What is up with your fucking gigabrain taking 4 guys from this? No.
I'll drop the 2. I'll drop the 2 I don't want, like week 1. trade him out.
Yeah, but that's getting you at best one good starter, whereas you could be taking Tyler Beatty and Pierre Strong and Ty Montgomery or whatever. Like, I think that's.
Yeah,
I think taking.
It depends who's available, but
I think taking a second one of them. I think taking one of Sermon or TDP or Jeff Wilson Jr. is totally fine. I totally have no problem. Like, I think taking Rashad White and Keyshawn Vaughn together is totally fine. I think taking Pierre Strong and Ty Montgomery together is strong, but taking all four of them is terrible.
I don't know. It really depends. Like earlier in the offseason, I was taking some teams with Eno Benjamin and Keontae Ingram, and it's like
that's fine. You're taking two of them. You are underestimating the value of just a roster spot.
Yeah, I mean, for the main event though, when my 5 wide receivers are like Cooper Kupp, like Judy's my 5th. I can throw some darts at wide receiver, but do I really ever want to be starting these darts over these guys? And like, I can find the darts.
Well, maybe. What if your dart is Wan'Dale Robinson and he has 11 catches in week 1? Maybe you will.
Oh God, that's
dude. You're trying to win. You're trying to win $1 million again. You're not trying to advance your league. I think you need to be more aggressive in the main event with weird construction and stuff like that than it.
This is aggressive. It's not trying to advance.
No, dude, this is the ultimate 5 condom play.
It's choosing a team that the running back position is going to be ultra valuable.
But what if it's not? What if they have a multi-way timeshare and Trey Lance is the goal line back? Like you might have 3 guys who are all useless.
Yeah, and then I drop them and I blow my fab and I change them out. Like it gives me time until the season starts to see how the dust settles, and then literally week 1, there's gonna be a Cordell Patterson, there's gonna be a whoever. Drop all my guys or keep the top 2 and churn them out. I don't know. It's something I thought about. I'm not dead set on doing it. Here, I'll show that team real quick.
I get what you're saying, and I think maybe even if Jeff Wilson probably is not a 20th round pick on FFPC.
I would not include Jeff. I don't think it would probably be just the 3. Sermon,
just the 3. I think is not great, but fine. I don't know. I mean, I did. Pete and I have done this before. We took both of the Steelers handcuff running backs last year, Snell and McFarland. Dropped them both, obviously.
How do I get in this fucking thing? Here we go. All right, so here's the team. Why is it not showing you that?
Tough scenes. I saw Albert O peeking out though, so you got the tight end 1.
Well, I really love, the Knox Albert O pairing. I love at tight end, where.
You know who's tight end eligible on FFPC.com?
Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
I have him on like every single one of my main event teams.
Yeah. I mean, dude, just imagine winning the main event because Taysom is the starting. I mean,
he's less powerful in the main event. So here's my.
Oh, totally less powerful. I totally agree.
Because it's 1.5 points per catch. So here's my team. We went Cooper Kupp, Tyreek, AJ Brown, Marquise Brown, Judy. Loving that I got Mitchell as my RB1 and Murray to go with Brown. And then I got Knox and Albert O for the tight ends. Got the last, the thing about the FFBC, if you've not been doing these drafts, is you don't want to be taking, usually you don't want to be taking these running backs, but everyone is so thirsty that even after Albert O, now I have to go Khalil Herbert. And now look who's getting back to me. Tyrion Davis-Price didn't even make it back to me. So that plan is no longer an option, but
Trey Sermon is a fine pick here because Trey Sermon is ahead anyway.
Yeah, and Pacheco went here, but I'm not gonna do Sermon here. I'm not handcuffing the Mitchell pick this early. It was more like if I could wait, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. But I've made a mistake on some of my other teams starting 0 RB where it's maybe I do 2 tight ends and it's holy shit, my RB1 is Alexander Madison. I'm really going to need to piecemeal this together. Davis and I are going to do a main event team. Maybe just Davis and I, maybe me, Davis, Kyle Dvorak. I'm gonna be streaming quite a bit of.
we should definitely do that. We should do it during the day, like a 1 p.m. one. Like those, it's so much easier for me to do daytime ones.
Well, so I mean, if we wanted to, and if it works for Kyle, we could do it tomorrow.
I can't do it tomorrow.
All right, we're not doing it tomorrow.
I'm getting married.
Obviously not. All right, well, that's something to loop in later. Yeah, and I like streaming with you and Kyle too because we don't always agree, you know, and I don't.
Yeah, imagine agreeing with everything this guy who won fucking $1 million playing fantasy football says. I would never do that.
Well, I think I got you onto some players that
dude. I got to give you credit. You were the one who even pointed out to me that Taysom was tight end eligible.
Yeah, I mean,
like probably my biggest thing from this offseason, I actually just stole from you.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. You're not the first guy to take from a smaller creator here, but
I don't actually create anything these days, though. Is the funny thing.
That's hilarious. All right, man. Well, I don't want to take all your time. How about you tell the people what you got coming down the pipeline, and then I'll do the same, and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I got nothing. There's a really good take cast with Joe Holka that came out yesterday that I think people will be interested in, and I'll be out of town for 10 days, so don't bother me. You can subscribe to my Patreon if you want to give me a wedding present. Patreon.com/takecast. And yeah, keep these streets busy for me, buddy.
I did. Dave Kitchen's gonna be coming on with me next week. We're working.
Amazing. We're gonna live a little.
Yeah, we're gonna live a little with Dave. So maybe even we'll do a drafters. I don't know. Really depends where. I mean, what he wants to show off with Spike Week or whatnot, I guess. Tomorrow, I got a stream with Pat Corain. I'm really looking forward to. We're going to discuss his article and some of my thoughts on it. And then I'm going to be having some streams next week at night with some of my friends from home, some of the people from my fantasy football league, some of the normies, you know, introducing them to best ball and whatnot. I'm getting friends sending me puppy screenshots, and my friend
and their teams are terrible.
My friend Tolan's like, oh, 0 RB, I'll give it a try. And his 4 running backs were Madison, Algier, like McKinnon, and like Chris Evans or something. I was like,
league winner.
This is not what it was. You know, he had to get his whatever. But that's all we got for today. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, super follow Davis or something. I don't think he has that turned on, but it's his wedding.
I think I do. I don't know how to give you any benefits for it, but I promise you, if you find a way to super follow me, I will respond to your DMs at 100% clip.
Find a way to send Davis some money, either through PayPal, whatever. Buy him a beer, guys. I'm sending him a little wedding present, and peace out.
I took my ETH tag out of my handle. I should put it back.
Yeah, let's look real quick. We'll look at that. But I don't think you do. Like, you have to turn on super follow.
I know I am eligible. I know I am eligible for it.
You're eligible because you're over 10K, but you don't have it turned on.
Okay, let's see if I can figure this out.
Davis is gonna try to turn it on. It might be something you have to like request. I don't know, but super follow him, guys. It's his wedding. Buy this man a fucking beer. Think of how much laughs Davis has given you over. Oh my God, the sex bot's coming at the end. Think of how many laughs this man has given you over the course of the years. You know, buy this man a beer. He said he doesn't drink, but buy him a Jewel for his wedding present.
Oh, I can turn this on.
Turn it on, dude. Why not?
What should my introduction be?
I have no idea. Do you want to share your screen so you can show the people what this looks like?
How do I share my screen on StreamYard?
You just click share right now, I think, and I say okay, or it just goes. Because many of us, probably me included, will never reach 10,000 followers on Twitter.com.
Probably giving away some personal information somehow here. Here, do you got it?
I don't see it. You click share on the bottom here?
Oh, wait. Here we go.
Okay. You want me to add this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see it just tells me I gotta add an introduction.
Well, skip that for now. Just write like a letter and just see if you can set I think it's like you just set the amount. to.
Yeah, I'm not doing this. This is too much. This is too
All right,
much
he'll figure this out. He's gonna get it set up though. His homework right now is get that set up so that we can buy him a beer for his wedding. Peace out, guys.